Hello, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Mr. J's Geek Corner. Place where anything and everything, we talk about anything and everything that is geek, whether it be TV, comics, movies, or video games. And this week, I'm going to attempt my first ever movie review. And anybody, if y'all that have watched the show have known I haven't reviewed any movies since I started this show about a year ago. I said I just haven't. I said I wanted to. I wanted to review Man of Steel, but I just thought that was such a good movie that I just couldn't review it. I'd be sitting here rambling for hours about how good a movie that was, and that I didn't want to spoil anything. But this week I thought I would attempt an actual movie review. Because this movie, to me, deserves to get raked over the coals. Why do I say that? Because this week, I'm reviewing the animated movie Justice League War, as y'all can see there. I'm going to be reviewing this week. I know what y'all thinking. I actually watched something of the New 52. Yes, I did. I'm going to say the only reason I got this movie was because I'd already watched Flashpoint Paradox, and they had hinted to this as the sequel to that. So I just went ahead and got it. I just wanted to see what they did with it. And this week I'm going to give hopefully a brief review of this movie, point by point. And yes, there will be some major spoiler alerts in this movie. I said for y'all who haven't seen this movie that actually want to see this movie, you might want to turn the channel away, and so you might want to not watch this video until after you've seen the movie. But to all of y'all out there who have not seen this movie and don't care to see this movie because it is New 52, stick around. I'm gonna spoil every last plot point and every last thing I found wrong with this movie. The start off thing, if any of y'all have read the New 50, any of y'all have dared to read the New 52 Justice League story, the first story right out in the gate when they launched the New 52, and the first 12, I guess it's six part story done by I guess it was Jeff Johns. I can't remember. It was drawn by Jim Lee. If y'all start off by reading that very first one, y'all pretty much know that that's kind of what this is based on. It's based on the first. I say it's based on that story. I'll go ahead and say it's basically the Justice League go up against Darkseid in the New 52 for the very first time in the New 52 universe. They essentially go up against Darkseid, and that's essentially what this movie is. That's kind of where the similarities end, because there are a few beats from the movie, from the comics that are in this movie, a few lines, a few scenes, and everything that are in this movie. But after that, it's like they completely made it up. It's basically based on it instead of adapted to movie. Because as y'all know, there's definitely a difference between adaptation and based on. Most of the time when they say based on, that means it looks like the same story, but it can also not be the same story. But but like I said, it's definitely not adapted from that 6-issue story. It's based on it. As I said, it starts off like the other one did, where they're investigating a bunch of things going on and everything. They're investigating a bunch of weird disappearances and weird devices being found everywhere, and they couldn't find out, and of course they're blaming Batman for it. And couldn't find out it's a parademon, and he wound up being chased by the cops, and it winds up being a thing between. And it winds up Green Lantern and Batman find out it's a parademon, and of course they wind up in a confrontation with Superman. And I'm gonna just start off by saying their looks in this thing kind of vary from the comics. And so I'm going to start with Green Lantern. I would start with Superman, but I'm going to save the worst for last. But I said I'm gonna start off with Green Lantern. And as y'all know, when they relaunched him, he had like a few little things that looked like gold, like green, glowing streaks on him, and looked like armor a little bit on him. This one doesn't look like that. It looks kind of like that, but they got like lantern and glowing lantern looking insignias on his shoulders. To me, it looks bad to me. As for Batman, well, um, they kind of improved on it a little bit in the comics. From the comics, where I'm gonna say there's a story point in the comics where, I said like I said, they kind of differed this story a little bit. It almost differed his look a little bit. It looks almost. Tell you the truth, in this movie, his costume looks more Arkham Asylum, Arkham Origins, Arkham. But basically, he looks more like the Arkham Batman than he does the New 52 Batman. If that says anything, like that. Like instead of using a look that kind of looked like he went to the 31st century and stole a high-tech suit of battle armor and brought it back to the present, it looks like something they swiped from Arkham. I don't know if you say. I don't know. I guess you would say the Arkham Asylum or Arkham Origins, because it looks more like that. And then you've got Superman. Superman, I should say. Ellen and my wife Ellen say, quote bunnies. I said you got Superman, so-called Superman there. It looks very much like New 52, only it doesn't look like he's wearing a suit of armor. It looks like he's wearing a cloth costume. While that's all well and good, he looks horrible. He looks. I've said it probably several times throughout the course of the movie. He looks stupid. His costume looks stupid. He looks stupid. Which, to tell you the truth, if you watched watched episode 40 of Geek Corner and heard if you watched the episode where I talked about episode 40 where I talked about DC, it looked like almost like DC hates their character and is always trying to put him down and make him look stupid. That's exactly a personification of my point in this movie. They make him look stupid. His costume looks horrible. He looks stupid. He looks stupid. And I hate it. I hate the costume. I hate the way Superman looks in this movie. And I said, he's essentially just... It's terrible. Like I said, they changed a lot of story beats in this one. I'm going to say one of the most obvious things in this movie they changed. As everybody knows, if anybody's ever read the comics knows that one by one in every issue they introduce a character. They changed Wonder Woman in this. That's, I think, the next story beat. I think they introduced Wonder Woman during the fight. I think they switch off and they go over to introducing Wonder Woman, who looks like she's in a version of her New 52 outfit, with one difference. As everybody knows, Wonder Woman is always wearing a leotard that's essentially strapless. Everybody knows the one classic iconic Wonder Woman. They changed that too. They covered her up here and basically added a collar to it. They basically covered up her neck and covered up everything up here. While that's more suitable for the kids, you're still tweaking. They're tweaking. They're rebranding. They're modifying the modifications. You might as well say, revamping the revamp. As I said several times, I said they revamped the revamp, and also when they another big I don't and I probably should have said this earlier, since it's based on the if y'all read the comics, y'all already know the outcome of the story kind of anyway. So I said that pretty much spells out the whole movie. I really don't have to go beat for beat, but I said I'm just going to do little intricacies here. Like I'm gonna tell you what they changed. Also in the movie, in the comic, I'm gonna say also in the comics, like I said, they introduced the characters one by one. They introduced, I think it was issue 4 of that they introduced Aquaman. Aquaman is not in this movie. I'm going to say it. And that's one big spoiler about this. You think Aquaman is going to be... No. Aquaman is nowhere to be seen in this movie. Who did they pick to replace him? Captain Marvel. Or as they just call him in the New 52, Shazam. They put flipping Captain Marvel in the place of Aquaman. One of the big seven. They put him in there I was like, you are rebooting the reboot. I actually said that when I saw it. I said, it didn't hit me till the end of the movie. To the end of the movie, they didn't introduce Aquaman. And they didn't introduce Aquaman. I'll get into this more later, but like I said, they changed a lot of stuff in this movie. I said they did. It didn't feel. I'm gonna say the story in the comics felt more epic than this did. This felt like they were twisting and turning everything, like they were trying to make it work in a more movie-oriented atmosphere or something. And I said earlier, they talk about a bunch of missing person reports. Turns out, in the movie, they were abducting people and turning them in, essentially pulling a Borg and assimilating them. They were taking them and turning them into parademons. That's right. They're turning people of Earth into parademons. And when they took Superman, they were trying to do him the same way. And that's kind of where they had the origin of Cyborg coming at. The experiment they were getting into, they were trying the thing that wound up merged to Cyborg. It was trying to turn him into that. And I'm going to say, everybody knows what Cyborg looked like when he first appeared in the New 52. Anybody read the story? He looked like basically Cyborg from the books. He looked like Cyborg from pre-52. He looked like, everybody knows, he looked like how Victor Stone, the Cyborg, always looked. In this movie, when they showed him actually come out as Cyborg, he looked like a walking scrapyard. I was like, what in the world? I said, he looks terrible. I said, he looks like a walking garbage dump or a scrap iron yard or a landfill. He looked like a walking scrapyard. He didn't look like Cyborg. He looked like a human scrapyard. He looked like Cyborg, like a human scrapyard. And it made me mad. I said, it's like, and I said, the only thing in this movie that I even liked, really, was when the Flash appeared. And the only reason I like that is because they didn't keep the look they gave him in the in Flashpoint Paradox. In Flashpoint Paradox, he was in his New 52 Racing Stripes outfit, it was non-armor, but still he had all them glowing yellow stripes all over him. In this movie, he was the classic Barry Allen Flash. He looked just like the Flash should look. And I'm going to say it right now, I think that's why he went on the cover, because that's not the Flash. They don't want you to remember that. They want you to remember all the horrible looking revamped heroes. I mean, I'm going to say it in terms of Captain Marvel, they didn't change him. He didn't change his New 52. He still like he did New 52. But Flash didn't look like he did. He looked like the classic pre-52 Flash. He looked like the Flash ought to look. He looked like he looked exactly like he does on my t-shirt. He looked exactly like it. And I loved it when he showed up. It made me smile to see the classic Flash back in action in this movie. But that was about the only highlight. The rest of them were lowlights. Like I said, the fight didn't feel as epic. And as y'all have read the story, they drug Superman. When they captured Superman, they drug him off to Apocalypse. And Batman, in one of the ridiculous moments of the thing, took off his cape and his cowl and took the bat and peeled the bat insignia off the chest of his high-tech armor and went to Apocalypse to save Superman, in which he does. But in this movie, they never went to Apocalypse. They didn't go to Apocalypse. Darkseid erected all these towers on Earth. That's how he first appeared on Earth. He didn't just suddenly appear out of nowhere in a boom tube like he did in the comics. He came from one of these towers. And instead of transporting Superman back to Apocalypse, they held him in one of them towers. You never really saw him go to Apocalypse. And as for Batman, like I said before, he didn't even do that. That's actually one of the things that they improved upon. He didn't peel his bat insignia off. He just took his cape and cowl off and disguised himself as a maintenance worker or something, and snuck his way into the tower and saved Superman that way. And I'm gonna say, and everybody knows how the battle went in the comics and everything. It went about the same way in this. And when they beat him, he didn't say the "I'll be back" line like he did in the comics. He just disappeared into the boom tube back to Apocalypse. And that was it. It was very, to me, anticlimactic. I mean, it was just, I'm going to say, it felt like that they were taking the reboot and rebooting it for this movie. I said the costume tweaks, the costume modifications and tweaks and everything, the roster modifications. It's like they were rebooting the reboot. And like I said, to me, it's very much a personification of what the New 52 is. Chaos. Ever-changing, make it up as they go along, chaos. And to me, it sucks. And as I said before, and if y'all remember one of the main marketing campaigns in the New 52, they kept thrusting a certain image of the Justice League, New 52 Justice League, at everybody. This image right here of the 7. Y'all see them right there. And as you see it'll be on the left side of the screen, Aquaman. You see him over there in the corner. When they ended the movie, that's not who you see standing there in that corner. You see that same roster standing on screen, but instead of Aquaman, you see Captain Marvel. And as a little teaser at the end of the movie, you see Ocean Master rise out of the sea, vowing revenge against the surface world, which leads into them possibly doing a sequel to that, and then finally introducing Aquaman. And to me, that is sad. Because, as I said before, it's like they are rebooting the reboot. You rebooted everything, you introduced the Justice League this way, then you take the comic and reboot the reboot. You change everything around in that. You change their looks, you change the story around some, and you switch out characters. Everybody knows he was not a member of the Justice League at that time. And he when they reintroduced everybody in New 52 and Justice League, they didn't introduce that. They didn't introduce Captain Marvel till like way later on, and I think it was during the Throne of Atlantis story, which I did not read but saw covers for. I said they introduced him way later on, away from for the first 6 issues. They introduced Aquaman in that, and to switch him out for him, well, that was just sorry. I said, to me, I'm gonna say it's like, I'm gonna use this term. It's an indictment of their horrible management of the DC universe. It's an indictment of just how bad the New 52 truly is, how terrible they really are, and that you can't even keep your story straight without changing it. I've said it before about the continuity problems in the New 52, and that in an issue of Justice League, Superman said his father died this way, while in Action Comics, it was either Action Comics or Superman, he died like they show him dying this way. And to me, get your story straight. I said, they can't even get their story straight that way. And in this, it's the same thing. They took 6 issues, and I know, like I said, based on is definitely different from adapted from. Because usually if it says adapted, it's going to be an exact adaptation. But I said with this, they completely changed about everything. They made everything too earthbound. Whereas in the comics, they actually went to a different place. Actually went to Apocalypse to save Superman. Batman actually went to save Superman on another planet. This one, he just went up to a flipping tower on Earth. They never left Earth. And like I said, you change roster members for no reason. You take out Aquaman again, and put, of all people, Captain Marvel in his place. You change Wonder Woman's look to look. You change Wonder Woman's look, which I ain't complaining too much about, but still don't look right. You make Superman look stupider than he already looked in the New 52. And you make Cyborg, instead of looking like a heroic half robot, look like a walking pile of junk. And to this, it's just wrong. You reboot this to this sorry universe you call the New 52, and you go to making movies out of it, and you can't even stick to that. You got to take your rebooted universe and reboot it in the movie. All I got to say is, DC, what is wrong with you? Are you so mixed up? Are you so mixed up you don't even know what's the universe anymore? You can't even keep your universe straight. You reboot the universe. You make the WG along. You keep it stuck together with tape popsicle sticks. Then you make a movie based on that, based on your reboot, and you reboot that too. You twist that up and mess that up and mangle that too. What is wrong with you? Are you not thinking? Think. That's my message to the likes of Dan Didio, Jeff Johns, Jim Lee, and everybody else involved in News 52. Think. It's like you're man. I say you're not thinking. All you can think about is that dollar. Think about is the dollar bill and the money. That's all you're thinking about. You shunned your old generation of fans like me in favor of fans that don't appreciate it. And a younger generation in favor of a younger audience who, in a few years, they're going to run it. So you're trying to bring in a new audience who, in a few years' time, they're going to run them off too and reboot everything again. I had no doubt about that. Yeah, I'm hoping they reboot it again. I hope they reboot it back in the other direction, back to the way things used to be. But like I said, they just force feeding this mess to everybody and expecting them to like it. And as everybody knows, you can't force feed people crap. And that's what New 52 is crap. And that's exactly what this movie right here is crap. My grade on this movie, a great big fat F. I said the only highlight of this whole movie is seeing Flash in his classic look. Otherwise, this movie was not good. I mean, the comic was about halfway enjoyable, other than the fact that you were reading the New 52. But otherwise, it was still about halfway enjoyable. This movie, it took all the what was enjoyable out of it. It's terrible. I'm gonna say, if I base this on a grade, like I said, if I graded this according to like school grades, it'd get an F, a F minus. And as for Ebert and Roper, thumbs down. two thumbs way down. And if this were done on the star system, it would get no stars. It'd get -5 stars. It's terrible. And like I said, as I said, it's just a bad movie. Like I said, it's a bad movie based on bad comics, a bad comics universe. Like I said, at least the story it was based on was somewhat decent, but they took what was enjoyable out of it when they made this movie. It's a bad comic movie based on a bad comic universe, the New 52. And if this ain't a sign that DC needs to abandon this New 52 and go back to into the classic universe the way things used to be, then I don't know what will be. If I can, and as I said, that's my review of Justice League War. I know it broke down into yet another scathing grilling of sharp word grilling of DC and the New 52 and Dan Didio and all, but they are responsible for this stink bomb. They are responsible. They are responsible for this movie. I mean, I say you can't even have a comic book universe, a rebooted comic book universe, without making a movie reboot of that same reboot. To reboot a reboot is just going to lead to a mess, a horrible, horrible, wretched mess. And like I said, they just need. And as I've said it before, they need to get rid of the New 52, and they need to put things back the way they are before DC goes any further down this path and just lead it goes any further down this path and runs more people off, because it's just a terrible universe making terrible movies. It's going to turn into terrible movie adaptations. And I don't know if I said this before. But I heard before this movie ever came out, they said that they were going to start making movies based in this universe. And they were going to start making New 52 based movies. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? They're going to make more. That tells me they're going to make more stink bombs like this. You're going to see more stinkeroos like this. Sure, the next one is the Son of Batman. Of course, when I saw that the trailer for that decline, that was going to be based kind of out of the New 52. Best of my knowledge, they didn't do a Damian origin story in the New 52. They did it in the pre-52, the classic universe. So in other words, the next one is going to be new. It's going to be classic DC based, but they're going to try to stick some New 52 in it. And to me, that makes me want to puke. I said, you're going to start seeing them keep weaving more and more of this New 52 hogwash and garbage into everything DC until you just can't even stomach it no more, and it's just going to make you want to vomit and never read their stuff again, except for classic stuff you might find in the back issue bins or the classic stories the classic movies they were making. They're going to go look in the $5 bin or in a bargain bin somewhere and try to find some of the other DC animated stuff they made before they ruined it with the New 52. I'm not trying to speak for everybody here, but I'm just trying to speak from the point of view of people who despise the New 52. Me especially. I hate the New 52, and I will always hate the New 52. It's not the way things should be. It's not the DC universe I know. It's not the the real DC universe. It just needs to be done away with, and the classic DCU, the DCU everybody knows and loves, needs to be brought back. I guess that's my review of Justice League War. Like I said, it's to me it's a flop. It's a stink bomb. It's DC. It's the DC New 52 at its worst. I don't know if you want to call it the DC New 54 or any other number besides the 52, because it's a new. I can almost call it the new 52, because this is rebooting the New 52 in a sense. And so I can see it stinks. It's not good. It shows you just how truly bad the New 52 is, and that the New 52 needs to be thrown in a garbage can somewhere, and they need to try to bring back the classic DC universe. End of story. And I said, I hope y'all enjoyed my first movie review. What do y'all think? That's it. If anybody out there seen the movie, did y'all think it was good? Did y'all think it stunk? And am I way out of line? Do y'all agree? I said, let me know. So always drop a comment in the comment box. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear what y'all think. And that's all for this edition of Mr. J's Geek Corner. And as always, y'all got any comments about the show, drop me a comment in the comment box. Like, subscribe. Subscribe to this channel. And if y'all have any ideas about things y'all want to hear me talk about on the show, as always, drop me a comment in the comment box. I'm always looking for fresh new things to talk about and discuss here on this show. I would love to hear your ideas. I'm always looking for fresh new ideas. I would love to hear your ideas. I would love to drop me a comment. I would love to hear from y'all. And I'll see y'all next time.